Hello, and thank you for watching Translating Your Summer Research Experience to Your Resume. My name is Brittany McManus, and I'm the Coordinator of Student Programs in the Experiential Learning Hub. Today, we'll be covering how to develop accomplishment statements from your summer research position for your resume. Whether you're applying to further education or applying to jobs, it's important to identify and translate the transferable skills you have developed. This recording is an adaptation of an interactive workshop, and there are activities that you can complete by following along with handouts. You can download these handouts at the link provided on the screen or by going to uoguelph.ca/el, selecting Students, then selecting Getting the Most Out of Your Experience, and selecting Summer Research Experience Professional Development Activities. So for the outcomes for today's session, first, peer helper Natalie is going to lead you through an activity to assist with reflecting on your experience. Then we'll cover what skills are employers looking for. Then my colleague Alexis is going to cover a job posting decoding activity to help you recognize what skills are employers truly looking for, as well as how to identify transferable skills from your position. Then I will finish off by covering how to market what you have accomplished this summer by writing strong accomplishment statements.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie and I'm a Career Services Peer Helper with the Experiential Learning Hub. In the fall and winter semesters, my role largely consists of helping students one-on-one with job searching skills such as helping to edit their resumes, cover letters, and helping them to prepare for interviews. This past summer, however, I've been working with Brittany on some special projects, including putting together a student advisory committee that I will speak a little bit about at the end of this workshop, so stay tuned. So, let's get into reflecting on your experience. I find that reflection is a crucial step in exploring our personal and professional growth. Things get so busy so quickly while at university, and it's easy to get swept up in it all. But that's why it's so important to take a step back and reflect on your experiences to see how far you've come and figure out where you're going. So let's start off with a brainstorm of what you've achieved so far this summer by completing the Reflecting on Your Experience handout. It should be in the document called Workshop 3, All Handouts, that should accompany this workshop. So on the first page of the handout, there are 5 reflection questions, and I just want you to take some time to yourself to answer these questions by looking back at your experience. These questions include ones like, what did I learn? And how did my contributions benefit the university and or the community? So think of micro and macro level impacts on yourself, your immediate research environment, and the community as a whole. Your research experience this summer during the time of the COVID-19 pandemic is very unique to say the least. So also think about how you've adjusted to the rapidly changing environment around you. So typically we break up the skills that employers are looking for into 2 categories, hard skills and transferable skills. Hard skills are related to specific technical knowledge and training, so these include languages, computer and technical skills, and acquired abilities that can be measured. Personally, in my own resume, I like to reflect on all the projects I was a part of when I had a particular work experience, and I try to list down the things that I remember doing in the lab, for example. You can list down things like lab instruments and techniques you've used, so that might be centrifuges or passaging cell cultures, and these are the things that you typically needed for that particular job. But that's not to say that you can't use those skills in other positions, it's just not as likely. Now, transferable skills, however, are a mix of hard and soft skills that can be used across many different occupations. They're usually related to personal attributes and personalities that you have. So, according to LinkedIn's 2017 review of job postings, these are the top 4 transferable skills wanted by employers. So we have leadership, communication, collaboration, and time management. Chances are that you've used most, if not all of these, in some capacity this past research experience. Now, hard skills are the ones that qualify you for the job, but I find that transferable skills are the ones that make you stand out and allow you to demonstrate that you're the best fit.
Thanks, Natalie. So my name is Alexis, and I work as the Experiential Learning Service Administrator in the EL Hub. In that role, I support on-campus job opportunities such as work study, URA, USRA, and general on-campus positions. So we're going to do another quick activity that will allow you to identify what skills can be applied to different roles. In your package, you should see a handout with 3 different job postings. The first one is food scientist with Riverside Natural Foods. That's more of your science type role. You'll also see a case management officer with the Ministry of Community Safety and Correctional Services. This is more of a social science type role. And then option 3 is the sales new grad program with PepsiCo. This is more of a general role that can be applied to multiple industries. So we'd like you to pick one job posting from the package that best fits your interests. Once you pick the job posting that best suits you, we're going to go ahead and decode that job posting. So I will choose the 3rd job posting just as an example. And what you're going to do is scroll to the bottom where you see the qualification and requirements section. You're going to identify the key skills in just the requirements section by highlighting each skill its own color. So you can see that I did that here. We have leadership highlighted in yellow, passion and a desire to make an impact in pink, and communication and interpersonal skills in blue. You'll go ahead and continue throughout the qualifications and requirements section, highlighting each skill a different color. Next, you'll scroll back to the top of the posting to the actual job description here. And you're going to cross-reference the required skills with the rest of the job posting. So for example, if organization is a required skill, you'll use the color for organization to highlight every line in the job posting that would require organization skills. So you can see I did exactly that here. We had leadership highlighted in yellow. So if we scroll to the top of the posting, I have highlighted accelerate your career progression with early leadership responsibilities, also in yellow. Passion and desire to make an impact is in pink. So we can see here, contribute in a fast-paced and dynamic environment that pursues growth, also highlighted in pink. Communication and interpersonal skills highlighted in blue. So we can look at the 3rd point here. It says learn to lead and develop others, which will likely require some communication and interpersonal skills. So that is also highlighted in blue. So in some cases, your qualifications and skills will directly translate with the job duties, and in others, you may need to do a little bit of digging. Either way, you can go ahead and pause the video and take a few minutes to do that. Once you're done, you should have a visual representation of the job posting where the frequency of the color indicates which skills are used most and are likely the most significant. And these are the ones that you really want to target in your resume and cover letter. Let's talk about identifying your transferable skills. More often than not, I find that students are really underselling their experience and skills overall. It's easy for us to dismiss our experiences as insignificant or unimportant, especially if it's not a formally paid job opportunity. But whether it's your coursework, co-curricular activities, volunteer, paid work, or life experiences, every experience you have is crucial to building your skill set, which is necessary for your personal development and, of course, to make you more marketable in the job market. So let's take the first 5 minutes and complete the transferable skills checklist on page 2 and 3 of your handout. You're going to take a look at the skills and identify which ones you have acquired through your current experience and other experiences that you've had in the past. You can just check the boxes for now and ignore the putting your skills to work section. So you can go ahead and pause the video and resume when you're ready to move on to the next task. So once you're done, we'll move to page 4 of the handout. Let's brainstorm 3 questions, which will be the foundation of your resume for this experience you're currently in. So think about your day-to-day life as a research student. What tasks do you do? For example, do you conduct experiments, code interviews, analyze samples? What action verbs or skills describe what you do? And what are the goals or outcomes of what you do? So you're going to take another 5 minutes or so to answer these 3 questions, but don't move on to the bottom of the page just yet. You can go ahead and pause the video to do that. Okay, moving on. So having worked in the employment industry for over 4 years, I've seen a couple of resumes, to say the least, and what I often see are resume bullet points that list just tasks. We really want to encourage you to think deeper about the skills and the outcomes involved in these tasks. So next, Brittany is going to walk you through just how to do that and make your resume really stand out from the crowd.
Thank you, Alexis. So now we're going to move on to developing accomplishment statements. So I like to use this graphic of an oil rig to demonstrate how you need to drill down to be specific when it comes to describing the skills used beyond just listing the task itself. The number one mistake that I see students making on their resume is that they're written with just a focus on tasks alone. The problem with this is that if most students you are competing against for jobs or for grad school have similar experiences, then your applications all look the same. So you need to make it easy for the reader to see your value by marketing your transferable skills through strong accomplishment statements. So you can see the example on the screen. At the very basic level, someone who is in a cashier role might have a bullet point that says handled cash. But we want to try and dig deeper in terms of marketing the transferable skills. So when you start to dig a little bit deeper, you might come up with something like balanced cash at the end of shift, which starts to infer the skills that you've developed. But the really gold star example that I would love to see everyone strive towards is something like verified cash balances of coworkers as a result of achieving 100% accuracy for a 3-month period. Now from here, I can start to infer the students' skills in terms of accountability and leadership because they were verifying the work of their coworkers, and their quality and work ethic in that they were 100% accurate for a 3-month period. So these types of quantifiers can really strengthen your accomplishment statements, and we'll talk about that more. Here are some tips for developing strong accomplishment statements. First, you want to open with a persuasive action verb. So try to avoid phrases like responsible for or was required to, because they are quite passive and makes it sound like someone was forcing you to do that task. You also want to be concise, be specific, and provide proof of what you've done. And a great way to provide proof is by quantifying and qualifying your statements. Something to consider is that numbers equals results, which translates to value. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the person reading your resume can understand the value that you would be able to provide. And finally, you want to speak about what you did. So not what your team or group members did as a whole, but being very specific about your own personal accomplishments. There is an acronym that I like to use to help students dig deeper into the details of their roles to help market those transferable skills, and that's WHO. So the W in WHO stands for what did you do? So think deeper about what was the problem or opportunity in your role. Next, the H stands for how. How did you do this? What steps were taken to meet that challenge, or what skills did you use? And finally, the O stands for outcome, and this is the piece that most people are missing on their resume, which is unfortunate because this can be the big difference maker when it comes to marketing your value. So think about what happened, what was accomplished. Other questions to help you dig into this outcome could be, what problems did you solve? What did you create or initiate? What was the service that you provided? Did you gain an ability? Did you save any time or money for the organization? Did you improve a process, overcome a challenge, or receive recognition for your work? So not every single piece of WHO will be embedded into every single bullet point on your resume, but as you're editing your current resume, think about these 3 steps for each one to dig a little bit deeper into those details. So let's take a look at some accomplishment statements and talk about how we can improve each one. So if you are part of an extracurricular club, and let's say that your role is about events management, you might have a bullet point on your resume that says, responsible for planning social events and lectures. And I put a big womp womp after this because it's not really showing me the value or the full details that help market your value, and you're really not giving yourself a lot of credit with this limited detail on your bullet point. Instead, I would love to see something like organized 10+ academic and social events for international development students, used professional communication and outreach skills to secure speakers for lectures. So let's dissect this improved example. So I like this because it tells me what you did, it has a specific accomplishment, and that accomplishment is quantified. So think about digging into this level of detail and including quantifiers to really help convince the reader that you have the skills that you want to be portraying. Let's look at a second example, again using an extracurricular scenario. So as part of your experience with being a member of a club, you might have a bullet point that says something like recruited new students for club. And I put a sad face after this because as an outside reader, I'm not really able to infer the future value that someone would be able to bring with them because they haven't been very clear about the skills that they used here. So instead, the improved example could look like something that says, designed and developed marketing materials for print and social media, resulting in a 20% increase in attendance at events compared to previous semester. So I'm going to sound like a broken record. Again, I really like this improved example because it has a strong quantifier that helps market the value. Another thing I like about this line in particular is that it includes a lot of keywords that might be attractive to employers, especially if this student were to be applying to marketing roles. Something that I often talk about with students when it comes to including quantifiers in their resume is that they're concerned that the numbers that they're working with aren't particularly large or impressive. So the strategy of using a percentage can be a good way to still market that value. For example, if you're talking about followers on social media, and maybe you improved the follower count from 100 to 120, you could still market that that was a 20% increase in followers, which is significant. So give yourself credit for those types of experiences. All right, now it's time to take all of the brainstorming and accomplishment statement tips that we've learned today and put them into practice. So either on page 3 of the workshop handout, the one titled Identifying Transferable Skills, you can use the bottom of the page to start to draft some accomplishment statements, or if you'd like to update your resume and put some of those new bullet points in there, let's pause the workshop now and take some time to work on some new accomplishment statements. So that's it for the content of today's webinar. And next up, Natalie is going to tell you about a very interesting opportunity that you may be able to get involved with.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie and I'm a peer helper with the Experiential Learning Hub. I just want to take a quick moment to promote a new initiative that I'm piloting this summer called the Career Development Advisory Committee. This is a group of students, such as yourselves, who will volunteer to meet bi-weekly in the evenings throughout the summer to review career exploration and job search content that the Experiential Learning Hub produces. The idea is that the feedback these students will provide in these meetings, using their diverse perspectives, will help the career advisors to improve this content for all University of Guelph students. Now, joining the committee would make for a great addition on your resume, but it would also help other students with their career exploration. So if you would like an opportunity to make a difference in our student community, and you feel like this is something you would like to be involved in, then please contact Brittany. You can find her email at the bottom of the slide. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Natalie. So if you're not familiar with the Experiential Learning Hub, I just want to wrap up this webinar by describing the other services that we provide. So we assist with resumes and cover letters, as well as anything to do with further education. So if you'd like to speak with someone about choosing the best program for your goals or applying to programs, as well as having a second pair of eyes on your statement of intent or your CV, then we can absolutely help with that. In addition, we also assist with interview preparation. So whether it's for an employment opportunity, volunteering, or for a further education interview, we can do a mock interview and provide interview coaching. We also assist with career planning. So if today's conversation has got you thinking about life after graduation, we would love to speak with you more about that. And finally, we also assist with job searching. So job searching searching is definitely a skill, and there are ineffective ways and really effective ways of job searching, and we want to make sure that you're being as effective as possible. So virtual career advisor appointments are available, and you can book them through experienceguelph.ca. And I just want to mention that you do get free access to our services for a year from the date that you convocate. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and we hope to see you soon.